Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. And asking questions here. Is work life balance a lie? Especially if you are a woman in a high stress C suite job or if you're an entrepreneur. We're going to talk about that. Welcome again to Mastering Work Life Balance Strategies for Thriving in Your Career and Your Life. I'm Dr. Twanna, an executive career coach for professional Black women, and I'm excited today. I have a special guest that I'm so excited to bring on, the incredible Shaniece M. Wise, and she's going to correct me if I didn't quite say that name right. Shaniece is a business expansion coach and strategist from Ohio. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hey there, hey there. Yes, it's Shaniece. Shaniece M. Wise. Yes, and I'm so excited to be here. So Twanna, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. You guys, Shaniece has been in business, I believe, is it 20? What is it now?
Since 2008.
Eight. Okay.
So yeah, with my coaching business, I've had businesses for a very long time, but with my coaching business
Coaching.
coaching and
Yes.
consulting firm, it's been since 2008.
Absolutely. So her specialty is helping women expand their business. And so today we really want to share with you how she's managed to help make over 3,000 women to help them successfully expand their business and as well to just share her thoughts on work life balance and how she incorporates all of that and her faith into her service. So, again, I'm so happy that she is here. We spoke before this, and my goal is to, if you have questions, drop them in the comments and we will attend to those while we're on air. And for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you for doing that as well. Also, drop your questions because I always circle back to answer questions. And I like to do what I used to call popcorn reading. I used to be a teacher, and we used to call it actually spirit reading. One person would read, and however they felt, the next person would read, and that's how you kind of go and flow here. So yes, I have questions I want answered, but I told Shaniece that I really want us to dig in to bring out stuff that's helpful for you. That's reality based, right? A lot of times you hear how perfectly people run their businesses and how perfectly things are in their life and how perfect everything run. We're here to talk reality today and look at strategies that you can find and actually use them to help you learn in business and life. So, first question.
All right, bring it on.
Denise. She said, bring it on. Can you tell us a little bit about your personal background
Mhm.
and what motivated you to actually become a business expansion coach and strategist?
So yes, oh my gosh, where do I start? It's been a journey. So I went to the Ohio State University and graduated with two business degrees. And that's when I always was a business owner. Like I was always an entrepreneur selling something. Always from age of 12, Twana, I was selling lemonade. Like I always was doing something. But when I went to Ohio State, I realized that business was in my blood. Like I absolutely loved the whole concept of running a business. And so went into corporate, into pharmaceutical sales, and I realized that wasn't for me. And so I had a previous business, and I was kind of locked in to only helping people in certain areas. And
Mhm.
I found that there was a need for business owners in all industries because as a business expansion coach and strategist, I'm not specific to one industry because I teach business. So I'm not going to teach you how to be a real estate agent. I'm going to teach you how to build your business on a solid platform and build the type of infrastructure that will allow your business to thrive, to last, give it longevity, make sure you have the right systems, strategies, operations, all that good stuff. And so I found that there was a need, and a lot of business owners were starting businesses, but businesses weren't lasting. Or I was seeing a lot of, especially women of color, starting businesses and not having the resource and the concept and just understand. Because we know what we know, right? You're a
Right.
therapist, therapy, you know what I mean? And so, but a lot of times as business owners, we don't know business. And
Yeah.
that's what I was seeing, And so I'm like, okay, Lord, this must be the direction that you want me to go in, helping businesses build solid platforms and infrastructures. And it's so crazy. When I first started, my title was personal development coach, but I wanted to teach business owners. So it wasn't in alignment. And so I had to do a total rebrand. And so those business owners who are listening and you're like, my messaging is not connecting, I'm leaving money on the table. It's okay to step back, look at your business and say, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to rebrand. Maybe it's time to sit with a coach. Maybe it's time for me to really understand who my target audience is. And that's what I had to do. And
Mm.
so reframed, reconfigured, rebranded, and developed my business coaching and consulting company where as a business expansion coach and strategist, I teach business owners how to expand this way. So while they're growing,
Mhm.
if you think about a tree expands with multiple branches of business or of revenue, whatever way you want to look at it. And so, what I was finding is there were a lot of business owners who were not lasting. There were businesses that were starting and they didn't have the right systems. And so, teaching business owners how to expand so there's multiple pieces of business inside of their business model is my jam. Because my thing is, I want, and that's how I've been able to help over 3,000 plus women because I teach them the concept of business, but also expansion. And so that's kind of
Yeah.
how I evolved. I found a missing piece to the puzzle.
See, Shanice is so good, y'all. She has already answered my second question. That pivotal moment, and like she said, she was a personal development coach, but realized she wanted to do business, and there was not the alignment.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, when there isn't an alignment in your business, you tend to get anxious, you tend to get nervous, you tend to worry, and things just don't seem right for some reason. And so I love it how she said, don't be afraid to take that step back and relook at it, get help, rebrand, and move forward. Right.
Yes, yes,
It's just like what we've learned now in the world of career. I know for me, from when I'm a Gen Xer, and the guidance that I got was go to school, go finish high school, get a college degree, get that job, and a lot of times get that good government job, stay
yes,
there for 30 or 40 years until you retire, and then
yes,
you're safe.
yeah.
Well, no, we don't do that anymore. You're gonna have up to 10 different jobs. Even as a business owner, you may do like Shani said and rebrand and go in a different direction, and it's okay.
It, it's
It's,
okay. And it's okay if you're running a business and working a job. For
yeah,
so long, you've been told, oh, you become an entrepreneur and you build that business so you can walk away from your job. But you can't have both. There are a lot of business owners that love their career and they
yeah,
love their business.
yeah,
And for so long, we're taught as women that we have to choose, and we don't. We don't. It
exactly.
can be an and. It doesn't have to be or. It can be
I
an and.
love that. I love that. I constantly tell my ladies, especially for Black women, we're put in a box.
Mhm.
You didn't ask for the box. You
Mm-mm.
may not even agree with the box, but for some reason we feel like once we've been put in that box, that's where we have to stay. And I'm
Mm.
all about breaking the box open. Maybe you want to exist in a circle. It's your choice.
It's your
But you
choice.
you do not have to stay. And I know for me, I did both. I worked for the federal government
Mhm.
for the first 10 years. I had my business. I did both from 2010 to 2021. Only reason why I left was because of COVID. They're like, nah, you're going to have to come into the office. I said, no, I'm not. No,
Yeah.
I'm high risk. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. So, and I had a coach and we were moving in the direction of me going full time, with both of my businesses anyway.
Yeah.
But COVID just speeded that up, and it was fine to pivot. And there
Mm.
are folks who pivot from entrepreneurship back to a W-2 role. Whatever floats your boat, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to
It-
answer to anybody. Your life is your life. Your story is your story. No one else can write your story but you. I tell my clients that all the time. No one can write your story but you. And so
yes,
you write it and you write an amazing story. And it can be you go to corporate, you run your business, you take a break from whatever you want to take a break from, you build $1 million business owner, you build a business, you build a six figure, or you don't build, it is your story to write.
yes. I love that. Ladies, it is your story. Even if someone has put you in a box and told you the only story you can write is this, not true. You can write your own short story and you can choose which story you want to write.
Mhm.
That's so important that you do have that choice. Now, I know
Mhm.
we're here today talking about work life balance, and we're going to kind of move into that now because, again, Shanice's specialty is business expansion. And
Mhm.
I also love the fact I was doing research on her. I love the fact that she incorporates faith. So tell us a little bit about that journey, Shanice, and how work life balance ends up being in that mix for you.
You know what? Let me take you back to
Okay.
my first, my oldest. I went through a divorce and I had no work life balance. And I was kind of forced to have to work a lot. And I felt like I missed a lot of my oldest's childhood because there was no work life balance. I had to work, and coming out of a divorce, it was me, me and my little one at the time. And so that brought on stress. It brought on anxiety. It brought on depression because I wanted this business so bad, and I wanted to succeed, but also needed to be a mom, and so the work life balance did not exist. And so I worked on that. I worked on time management. I actually taught classes on that because we struggle because as women of color, we sometimes we do have to do it all, and
Yeah.
not and you still may be married, and not taking away anything from your spouse, but as women, we are programmed to get
Yes.
things done, to take care of our children, to take care of the home, like we're programmed to do that. And I had to tell myself, Shanice, you're going to lose your mind if
Yes.
you don't understand work life balance. I don't know if you'll ever fully have the balance, but the time management skill is key. And so for me, I was just sharing with you before we jumped on that literally everything is in my day book. Everything from date night with my husband to scheduling my son's, a parent teacher conference, because I would forget. I would forget.
Yes.
I
Yes.
scheduled like my vacation. Sometimes I schedule sleep. Like everything that I possibly can schedule, I do. And it's one calendar. I'm not managing multiple calendars. Everything goes to one calendar. I don't believe in having multiple, just for me, because I
Mhm.
will not be able to manage it effectively. I need everything to be in one place where I can look on my phone, I can look on the computer, my laptop, shows my calendar. I wake up in the morning, I see everything I have to do the night before I look at my calendar. And so I've had to do that so I can be able to live because life is important for me. And that is one of the things that I teach my clients because when you're running a business, you're running this rat race, you're running. I don't believe in the word hustling, but we use that in our society. You're hustling, you're hustling, and you turn around. I have clients, Twanna, who come to me and they're running six-figure businesses, and you would think that they just have it all, but step back, they are depressed. They don't have time with their spouse, with their children, because they want the success. I have a client right now. I'm like, girl, you better schedule your onboarding session. But she's so busy selling homes, and I'm like, but you want to organize your company, because if you don't organize it, then you are going to end up, her blood pressure is high. She's in the
Oh,
hospital, like all these different things. And I'm like, listen, this is when I put my foot down. I'm not chasing you. I know what I can teach you and I can help you clean all that up. But you have to be willing to take the time for you and say, help me.
you have to. You have to. I say this a bit if you listen through different videos. But anxiety and chronic stress,
Mm.
the chemical reactions going on in the body, you're secreting adrenaline, you're secreting cortisol, and these other things. And when you're not running from the tiger or the lion or whatever, and you don't need those chemicals, they have nothing to do because you're not standing and fighting or you're not running away to safety. So they break the body down. And high blood pressure, as Shaniece mentioned, fibromyalgia, diabetes, arthritis, cancer. When you don't do time management and you don't manage stress, that is why those illnesses start to creep up on us. And it's so important. And I love how she talked about managing time management, and it's different for different people. I
Absolutely.
remember, about 14 years ago, we didn't have all the date stuff and all of that. And I had all these calendars, and no, I didn't have a calendar. I only had two: therapy calendar and a work calendar. And my kids were doing stuff. I was like, that's not going to work. So I had to do my work calendar and kid calendar and a therapy calendar over here because it was confidential. And now there's tech to do that for you.
Yeah, and that makes it so
There's
much
tech that
easier.
integrates all my calendars are integrated to one calendar. And you have to try to simplify life like that, because when you run a business or you're in the C suite, there's a million moving targets, and you will run yourself crazy trying to keep up with all of them.
You will run yourself crazy. My client, one of my clients, she's a $1 million business owner. She has finally got to a place of peace. One of the things with that time management is also the delegation. A lot
Yes.
of times, as business owners, you don't think you can afford help, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't afford not to get help.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if that's taking, hiring a virtual assistant, operations manager, marketing strategist, whatever you need right away, get the help that you need, because
Yes.
you cannot scale a business by yourself, and you will just literally, it will take you out trying to do it, and you'll hit a plateau because
Yes.
you won't. One of my clients, another, I have so many stories. Another one of my clients, we built her company into an agency style because she wanted to bring on more business, and she was, but
Mm-hmm.
she was so overwhelmed that she was not fully giving what she needed to. Like, things were falling short and projects weren't. And she's like, Shanice, I know I can do this. We need to hire some subcontractors. Let's build your agency. Let's hire some subcontractors. They'll just work with you. They will not face the client. But now you can bring on that extra business. You can delegate it. And then you can go be what you need to be, because people are now working for you. And it's a win-win, because the subcontractors, they're running their own business, but they're also making additional money on the side. We have to learn how to be strategic, because if we
Yes.
don't, that whole work-life balance, it will not exist.
At all on any given day. So you guys heard, if you're running a business and there is no work-life balance, there's nothing there. This is what Shani specializes in, because I have seen people leave the job on stretchers.
Hmm.
That, you know what? You can lay your body down for rest, or your body will lay you down. And normally when it lays you down, you don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not a pleasant thing at all. And
You
I
know,
know that women and women of color, like Shanice alluded to earlier, many of us are in that sandwich generation. We're taking care of parents. Some of
come
us are
on.
taking care of grandparents and
Yes.
aunts and children and grandchildren and great nieces. And we do feel like we have to do it all, but you don't. You really don't. I love her idea about subcontracting. Someone was looking at my social media and congratulating on me how good it looked. I said, "Oh, no, 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 no. I have a social media manager. I
I
don't I
know,
don't
man.
do that. So I'm not gonna take credit. If you want her name, it's Nadia Stone, but I don't do this because it's too much to try to do it all on your own. And
It's too much.
sometimes
Mm.
we're taught that I have to do it all for it to be done right. No, you just set a standard. Someone doesn't meet your standard, you got to learn how to stand up and say, you're not meeting my standard. Here's your chance. Here's your chance. Then it's bye bye. You just have to.
Absolutely.
You have to do that.
Also too, like, this is important for me. mastering that work-life balance, the strategies for thriving in career and in your life, your business, is also waking up, putting the Lord first. And that for me, everybody is different. And I don't try to force my beliefs on anyone, but for
Mhm.
my company, it is built on, biblical and spiritual principles. And, for me, waking up in my word, it's important. It helps me navigate my day.
It does. It does. When I
Yes.
had my first business coach, when I decided to pull my coaching out of my therapy practice, Kristen Hargis, and the first thing she said was, "You need to design your day. Design your day." I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" She said, "Design your day." So, when I left the federal government in 2021, there were people like, "Well, how did you adjust to? There's nobody over you, no one telling you what to do. How did you get a schedule?" And I was just smiling at them like, "I've had a schedule since 2018, June 2018."
Yeah.
And when I sat down to design my schedule, and this is what I coach my clients to do: design what you want. My schedule was, I want to exercise as a part of my day, not
Mm.
when I have time, not when I can fit it in, and it gets cheated when I get busy. I wanted to start my day off with prayer and with reading. And I
Yes.
didn't want to face clients until after
Mm,
11 o'clock.
mm.
I designed that. I
Yeah.
literally designed that schedule because, like you said, I can tell if one of them is off that morning. If it rains and I don't feel like boxing, I can tell when I didn't exercise.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell because it's like I'm off. And the first thing I learned this from my pastor. The first thing before my feet hit the ground, Lord, thank you for allowing me to see another day.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord, for allowing me. And some of the things I'll pray too is, Lord, put someone in my space who I can be a blessing to.
Yes.
You know, I mean, like just the little things. And of course, cover my children in prayer and the business of my clients. I really, and I'm not perfect, but I really try to spend that time, in my word and in prayer, because the older I get, the more I realize that's all that we have,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and just understand. I have started I just wrote a new book called Where Faith and Business Collide. I'm a three-time author, and
Mhm.
it's 30 powerful promises of God reminding business owners that he still sits on the throne. One of the things that I have found with a lot of business owners in this season, so we've moved from COVID, right? So during COVID, it was a lot of money. Businesses were thriving. People who didn't even know how to run businesses were running businesses, making money. Now it's after COVID. Things are a little different. Businesses, fluctuating. And so I talk to a lot of business owners and they're like, I'm praying, I'm seeking God. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep my doors open, blah, 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 blah. And so the Lord told me to tell his people that I am still here and I'm on the throne, but I need more of you. That's what he told me to tell him. I need you to incorporate me into your day. I need you to allow me to be your CEO of your company. I need you to be able to speak the word of God over your systems, over your lead generator, over your clients, over your hiring process. Literally, the Lord wants more of us in this season. So it's a day by day devotional. And so it starts with an affirmation, it goes with a scripture. Then I give a little bit of insight, activity, and then closing prayer. And it's helping to fuel the business owner
Yes.
daily to
Yes.
fill them. And this is a part, like, we don't understand everything that's in work life balance. That's a part of your work life balance. That's you
Absolutely.
being able to speak into your business, to yourself, incorporating the word of God, understanding the principles and the promises that he has for us as business owners. It changes the complexity of how you look at business and how you run your business. And so a lot of times we think work life balance is making sure, that, we're with our family, making sure we're running our business. But it's all, it's all of everything,
It
and
is.
that's where you can have that just
Yeah.
sense of peace, even in
Yes.
the midst of a storm, when you can have peace, it
Mhm.
just shifts everything, and so
Yes. Yes. So when we, and to her point, we talk about health, right? it's not just about do you exercise in that kind of thing. There's four parts to it, right? It's the mental health.
Mhm.
And when you are spiritual and you're connecting with your guidance, whether that's God or another higher power,
Mhm.
that's important for your mental health. There's also emotional health. We got to take care of part of our health as well. And
Yeah.
there's also the physical health. And I want to talk to Shanice about this because I was listening to one of her podcasts,
Yeah.
and girlfriend says she gets up at 4 in the morning because she loves Orange Theory. And I
Yeah.
had a flashback to the military. I was like, oh, 4 o'clock in the morning, my goodness. So I do exercise, but it's not four. But we're gonna get back to that. And then the fourth health is your spiritual health, and that's what she really spent some time going over. But tell me about Orange Theory, because I gotta say I
Oh,
was very
girl. Listen, after having my 15-year-old, I shaped my body shaped all back in like I was good to go. My 4-year-old having a baby at 40, it's a different ball game. Okay. It's a whole
yeah,
different playing field. And so it's like that extra meat wants to stick to you. And
yes,
so it's a group of us. It's about 9 of us, and we're on a text thread, and it's some family, some friends, and we get up in the morning at 4:15 every day. And well, everybody has their own schedule. Some go, 5 days, 4, 3, and we
hmm
we wake up and moving. And then we text when we're in the car because it's so early, just making sure
yeah,
that we're, secure en route. And
yeah,
so we get to Orange Theory. I went this morning, and it just feels good. I need it for me. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good. It's keeping me in shape. I want to be there for my kids.
yeah,
I want to be
yeah.
around. I want to be able to continue to run my business as long as I choose to run my business. And I want to be healthy. And so I am not going to tell you that I'm excited to wake up at 4:15, but I can tell you that it is a discipline, it's a part of my work-life balance because I know that it's important as I get older to really
Yeah.
take care of me. And so I do, girl. I get up, get to moving, we be on it. And it's so funny. After I leave Orange Theory, I come home, take my shower, get my 15-year-old up, make sure my husband is up, get my 15-year-old to school, come back, get my 4-year-old, get him to preschool. Like my day
Mhm.
starts, and that's the only time that I could work out because I don't have any time in the evening. And so
Yeah.
we have to really know our schedule and be willing to do. It's what I always say, be willing to do what others won't in order to get what others don't have.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're talking here again, we're talking about mastering work-life balance. It is a seesaw. And we know that for a seesaw to be fun, it goes up and down. Let's
So,
just face it. No one ever gets on a seesaw and has it level out and say, "Yay, we're having a good time." It actually goes up and down. And that's the way work-life balance is. But there are these pieces that you got to have to that puzzle. Like I said before, you got to tend to your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. And I actually like to toss in a fifth one, your financial health, because finances cause
absolutely.
way more stress
Whew,
than
girl.
a lot of things.
Yes, 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 yes.
It causes a lot of health. And like Shanice said, and I hope you got that, she's not up at 4:15 in the morning by herself. She has a circle of support there with her. And that is so important. Now I understand because I have a lot of my ladies that come to me and say, I don't have a support system. There's no one. And
Yeah.
that's part of what I do with my coaching is help people start to build that system. But you see how beneficial Shanice's system is because they all and nobody, different people exercise like she said. Some people two, some people 3 or 5 days a week, but it doesn't matter because the circle is there supporting each other. And that's so important when you're talking about holding yourself accountable to doing exercising or doing the self-care piece. People in
Yeah.
your circle, especially when you have folks that will speak truth and power, like you wrong because you laid up in that bed, right? So
Girl, get sometimes you gotta sleep in though. Like sometimes you be like, Lord, I'm tired. I'm tired. And it's okay to be tired. Let me say that. It's okay to be tired, and it's okay
Mhm.
to recognize that you're tired. I mean, There's so many of us that feel like we have to be superwoman because showing that we're tired is a weakness. No, no, no. Showing that you're tired, you're human. You're
Yes.
human. And it's
Yes.
okay to be human. And so if you're tired, then say you're tired. Take You and I were just talking about that. I just got back from Mexico and it was
Mhm.
a great time away because we as women, we got to be filled back up. A lot of times, when you're running a business, you're managing your home, you're a caretaker. I'm that as well. I have grandparents that, taking care of. I'm a minister, so I'm heavy in my church. It's all these pieces to my puzzle. And
Mhm.
sometimes I can give, and I'm depleted. And so we have to be able to take time away to fill our cup back up. Because if you take you out of the game, how is everything else going to function?
That's right. It's about being intentional about taking care of you. Number one, because people look at you, they're
Mm,
looking into your life and you're showing them when you do the self care and you're like, I need to step away, I got to take time. You're actually giving them, showing them how. And as you know, you and I were talking before, is sometimes as coaches, it's like we give people permission because people don't, black women, especially women of color, we don't feel like we have permission to take a break or to step to the side and exit off that highway and get that exit to refuel and regenerate. We feel like we can't because we feel guilty or other people are guilt tripping us to keep going. But
yeah.
that's why it's so important for us to do it, right? And we're not sitting here, like Shani said before, we're not sitting here perfect. All right,
Mm-mm,
because
mm-mm, mm-mm.
we, I went to Thailand. Now, honestly, on that trip, there was a lot of walking involved. But it took me 2 months to get back on an exercise train when I got back. It took me 2 months. I was like, okay, you're gonna have to, you gotta get back into this. It was cold and Thailand was hot. I was like, I can't get out here in
Like,
this
wait a minute, what?
miserable.
You're like, wait a minute, it's cold. I don't want to get up. It's cold.
This is cold. I was like, I'll go downstairs to do some boxing, but I'm not going out there. And I'll be honest with you, when I started back exercising, this is how I started. I have one of those electric toothbrushes where you brush for 2 minutes. I stood on one foot for 30 seconds. I stood on
Mhm.
the other foot for 30 seconds. And I literally worked on balance. That's how I started exercising until it got a little bit warmer outside and I started walking. Every little piece helps. It is
Every
just about being intentional and
yeah.
being true to you. So we're not here preaching perfection at all.
Mm-mm.
We're saying consistency. You fall off the wagon, you get back on it, and you keep going.
Yep. Yep. That's the key.
Yeah.
You fall off, you get back up, and you keep moving. You don't have time to, woe is me. Like, life is too short. The older I get, I realize that, you know, just buried my uncle last Monday, and life is short, and so you fall off, get back up. Don't
Yeah.
allow other people to dictate your future. You carry your happiness. It's about how you react, you know, and even with your clients. Everybody's not a great client. Use wisdom and discernment.
Ooh,
And all money is
ooh,
not money.
yes.
All
Yes.
money is not good money. Believe me, been there, done it. I can write a book about it. I teach from a place of what I know. I've been coaching for a long time. Everybody's not a good client, and
Exactly.
it's sometimes it's just not a match.
It
Sometimes
is. And I often talk about energy.
yeah,
I have a 30-minute free 30-minute session with all of my prospects, my clients. And the purpose of that really is to figure out, do our energies match and are we a good fit together? Because if it's not, then I can't work with you. But I'm sure there's someone else out there who is a good match energy
there is
wise.
someone else. Yes. I own my space now. I know that I run a company that's a faith-based company. And I
Hmm.
tell people if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. There are
Yeah.
other business owners that are out there, and it's so funny. They're like, but no, I want to work with you. And that's fine. But just understand I pray over my clients. Every coaching call before we start, I pray. If the Lord gives me a word, I'm gonna intercede. I'm gonna give you a prophetic word. That's how I run my company. And then we'll be back to business coaching and training. That's how I flow. That's the uniqueness of me. And
Yes.
before, my operation strategist, she said, Shaniece, it is time for you to lean into who you are. Quit
Mhm.
separating your worlds. It is time to lean into who you are. And she's not really spiritual. But I took that and I'm like, okay, God, I see you talking through her. And so now you get all of who I am. I'm great at what I do. I really
Yes.
am. And I know it. And I know the Lord has gifted me to do what I do. But also, there is a need in the body of Christ. There's
Yes.
a need.
Yes.
And if the Lord uses me in this way, then Lord, I'm willing, and I'm going to be obedient. And I can't tell you that everything looks perfect for me, and I can't tell you that there are no struggles, and I can't tell you I don't look at the Lord and be like, really, God? Like, are we on this? Are we? But I follow him, and I do what it is that he desires for me to do, and I keep it moving. So, it is okay to be authentically who you are. You don't have to apologize for it. Own who you are, accept it, love it, thrive in it. You are beautifully created to be you. God has gifted you with your specific gift. Only compare yourself to your best. That's it, not to
That's it.
anybody else. Because anybody, like, what we do, oh, I just got so many pieces. What we do is we compare our weaknesses to other people's strengths. And you will
Yes.
always lose. You will always lose
Every time.
because we're looking outside. We don't know their struggle. I don't want anybody else's story. I don't want their struggle.
Hmm.
I don't,
Hmm.
mine is enough to carry on its own. And so as you develop your work life balance, whatever that looks like for you. I do want to drop this with you. Learn to compartmentalize as well. Learn to compartmentalize. And what does that mean? As you manage your time, learn what doors to open and what doors to close. There
Hmm.
have been times where, maybe me and my husband haven't agreed on something, or, my 15-year-old is driving me bonkers. But when I step into, listen, baby, teenage
Saying
years,
this is so.
that's a different beast. Off that's a whole lot of prayer. But when I walk in my office and that door shuts, all of my other compartments have to be closed because I cannot allow what's going on in my different compartments to feed into this compartment. It is something
Yes.
that I've really, really worked hard on. But you have to learn how to close doors and open doors, because if you
Hmm.
don't,
Hmm.
everything will feed in one area, and then it's going to be hard for you to be effective. So the time management, the compartmentalizing, the consistency,
Hmm.
find an accountability partner. I've been telling, people who have been ordering my book, read it with someone else.
Yes.
So you keep each other accountable, because literally I get raw. I share things in the book where I'm like, "Whoa, Shanice, you shared that." But it's just a season of transparency for me. And so be authentic in who you are. Learn how to compartmentalize. It's okay if you fall. Get back up. Keep moving. Keep moving. And if I could leave you with anything, get the help that you need. Don't be afraid to invest in you, whether it's, life
Yes.
with Dr. Twanna, or, business coaching, or whatever. If you need, mental, personal, whatever it is, don't be afraid to invest in the number one player on your team, and that's you.
And that is you. And it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength.
Yeah.
If you look back at Barack Obama's presidency, he was very intentional about having people around him who would speak up if he was off the track, or he had people that would say, no, that's not. It's
Yeah.
not a sign of weakness to look out to others for strength,
Yeah.
because where they're strong, they transfer that to you, and then you become strong. And then where they're weak, you transfer to them, and you help build that part of them up. Right. So
Absolutely.
I, we can do this all night.
Yeah.
I
Good
think we gotta
conversation.
get going.
It's
But
great
let me
conversation.
ask you this last thing. For people who want to find you, how
Yeah.
can they reach you?
Well, I mean, if you look at the spelling of my name, you throw the at sign on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. It is just at Shaniece M on YouTube. And then my website is shaniecemwise.com. And so go search me, do some research, go to my website, and I have different coaching services that I offer for business owners, whether you need just a quick fix, there's one thing that you need, or you need, long-term help, or you don't know what you need and you need a business audit to really identify what the problem is. I offer all those services. So yeah, go to my website, check me out, schedule a session with me. Go to my social media. It's just Shaniece M. Wise.
And she tell them about what you do every week and what you do on Instagram. I want to be sure we're getting
Yes, yes.
out there.
Yes, so of course, you gotta be on the show. So you and I get together. I'll get you on the show. But my Unstoppable Live show, I do it daily at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I mean, goodness gracious, on the show, I'll have guests. I talk about business, I talk about faith, and I always say on the show, we talk about business, we talk about faith, we talk about we talk about life. There's a lot of different things that I talk about on the show. And we usually get a lot of great people that are in and listening and chatting. And actually, I've met a lot of great clients. I've been doing my Unstoppable Live show, I would say maybe about 3 or 4 years. And it's been definitely going strong. And as a business owner, I challenge you to chime in because I drop nuggets. I'm always sharing, I'm always giving different tools and techniques on how to set your business structure up, how to make sure you have strong lead generators, visibility strategies, you're growing your revenue. So the key things, how to incorporate God into your business. So every day, Monday through Friday, if you don't see me on the show, it just means that I'm out speaking or doing something. But there's a whole bunch of shows that you can go back and watch and listen to. And I have a lot of fun with this. So,
Okay, so I do have Shanice's social up there,
oh, yeah, yeah.
um, at Shaniece M, and just put that imaginary space that should be there, but my
Yeah.
website, and that's her website as
Yes. Yeah.
well. I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you for agreeing to come
Great.
on today. And you have dropped so much value in the little nuggets all
Mhm.
over. I don't always rewatch my own shows, but I'm going to watch this one because there was just so much that you were dropping. And I am so grateful for you for coming and joining us today. And
Thank
so I
you.
do want to open it up because I see some folks watching. If you have questions, you can drop those there and we'll answer those for you. But again, thank you so much, Shanice, for being
Thank
here.
you for having me. This was great. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
All
And
right.
thank you for doing what you're doing, having this type of platform. So hats off
Thank
to you.
you. And you as well. All right, everyone. I will see you right back here, same time next Wednesday. Take care.
All righty.